Women have more guts than men. And not just metaphorically, literally. But we're just getting warmed up. What's coming next is going to blow your mind. From secret superpowers to hidden functions, we're revealing more on today's episode of The Infographics Show. Even weirder facts about the female body. Number 28. Women's colons, on average, are about 3.9 inches longer than men's. That's a lot of extra room for giving them a whole extra level of digestive power and potential discomfort. Women's lower bodies are crammed with reproductive organs, and this means less space to breathe when gas, food, or air causes trouble in the belly. Number 27. Women are way better at remembering faces than men, and they're not even trying to flex. Women spend more time subconsciously studying facial features without even realizing it. They're just naturally fixated on the details, and it turns out that little trick is a memory game changer. Men? Not so much. They don't quite zoom in on the details the same way, and this leads to a huge gap in face recognition. It's like women's brains are designed to pick up all these little features without even blinking. And speaking of blinking, number 26. Women blink more than men, almost twice as much. That's right, ladies. While men are busy holding their steely gaze, women are over there blinking like they've got a personal vendetta against dry eyes. On average, women blink 19 times per minute compared to men's 11. And it doesn't stop there. As women get older, they blink even more frequently. And on that relaxing note, here's something that'll make you wish you could hit the snooze button. Number 25. Women's circadian rhythms, your body's internal clock, are shorter than men's. That means that women generally feel the urge to sleep earlier, while the guys are still debating whether to keep watching that episode. And it doesn't stop there. Women tend to get stronger surges of melatonin, the sleep hormone, making it even easier to drift off into dreamland. It's like their bodies are just a little bit more in sync with the whole sleep is essential kind of thing. And speaking of sync, here's something else that might hit close to home. Number 24. Women have a lower alcohol tolerance compared to men, and it's not just because of size. Women produce less of the stomach enzyme that helps break down the ethanol. After drinking the same number of drinks, women have a higher blood alcohol level than their male drinking buddies. The female body also has less water to dilute alcohol, leading to a stronger buzz that night and a worse hangover the next morning. Number 23. Nipplegasms are an actual thing. Some women have reported being able to orgasm from nothing but nipple stimulation. And before you brush it off as a fantasy, there is science to back it up. A study in the Journal of Sexual Medicine used MRI imaging to track how the brain responds to different types of stimulation. Nipple play actually lights up the same part of the brain, the genital sensory cortex, as stimulation of the vagina or clitoris. So the next time you think boobs are just about the look, remember they're doing way more than you might realize. This next one is a hard pivot in the opposite direction. Number 22. Research from McGill University in Canada shows that women handle pain better, way better. But it all comes down to how men and women remember pain. Men tend to hold on to those painful memories, which makes them more stressed and sensitive to pain down the road. Women, on the other hand, are like pain ninjas. They don't stress about past pain, and they're able to block those memories out. It's like their brains just hit the reset button, making it easier to move past the discomfort. So this makes our next fact about the female body super perplexing. Number 21. Turns out women are biologically wired to cry more than men. In the 1980s, biochemist William H. Frey found out that women cry an average of 5.3 times a month, compared to men's measly 1.3. And those numbers haven't changed much. Some people like to blame society for being more comfortable with a woman crying than a man. But Frey's got another theory. It's all in our biology. Women's tear glands are actually different from men's. Plus, the hormone prolactin, which is also responsible for milk production, is present in emotional tears. By the time women hit 18, they have 50 to 60% more prolactin than men, making those tears flow a little easier. But hey, crying is not the only thing women can do with their bodies that men can't quite keep up with. Number 20. Women's necks are more flexible, thanks to a more elastic muscle structure. So instead of swiveling their entire body like a human bobblehead, women can just casually turn their heads to catch whatever's going on around them. It's almost like their necks have their own built-in swivel function, perfect for spotting anything or anyone without having to move a muscle. Number 19. Women's fingerprints tend to have more ridge patterns than men's. In fact, studies show that women have higher ridge density, with an average of 14.2 ridges per 0.04 square inches compared to men's average of 11. Sure, this might sound like a tiny detail, but it can actually be used to help identify gender at crime scenes. Pretty weird, right? This next one is another oddball. Number 18. Believe it or not, women pee more frequently than men. On average, women's bladders can hold about 17 fluid ounces of urine, while men's can hold around 24 fluid ounces. So it's not about having a weaker bladder, it's just that women feel the urge to go sooner. And no, it's not because you're drinking more coffee, although that certainly doesn't help. It's all about the bladder's capacity and how women's bodies just seem to be built to go more often. But while women may need more bathroom breaks than their male counterparts, this next one feels like a superpower. Number 17. Women have more taste buds than men. This means that they're able to pick up on every little nuance of sweetness or sourness. Their taste buds are fine-tuned to catch every detail. While some people might be fine with bland, women's palates are out there living their best gourmet lives, savoring the full range of flavors. Number 16. Female milk ducts are basically just sweat glands that are multitasking. Mammary glands are made up of both parenchymal and stromal tissues. They're covered by skin and are ready to produce milk when needed. And don't forget about the nipple area, which becomes erect when stimulated thanks to its smooth muscle fibers. So while your body's busy with all this multitasking, deep under the surface, chest wall muscles are also hanging out, keeping things in place. And since we're already on the topic of mammary glands, number 15. A mother's milk doesn't just nourish, it actually produces specific antibodies for her baby. During breastfeeding, the suckling motion creates a vacuum that pulls a mixture of breast milk and baby saliva back up into the nipple and potentially into the milk ducts. This backwash sends a signal to the mother's mammary glands, alerting them to any pathogens or antigens in the baby that it might be exposed to. The body then ramps up production of immune cells, leukocytes, and antibodies, creating custom-made immune factors tailored to the exact threats the baby is facing. Number 14. Women get a bigger hit of oxytocin, aka the love hormone, after sex than men do. Oxytocin's role in women goes way beyond the warm, fuzzy stuff. It actually strengthens relationships, helps them feel more attached, and lowers stress. Meanwhile, men's oxytocin release doesn't quite have the same effect. It might make them feel connected, but it can also stir up some less charming traits like social avoidance and competitive vibes. Now let's talk about something else that is a little less advertised and a little more wild. Number 13. Puberty. It is a crazy, awkward time full of physical, emotional, and psychological changes. Well, women get to experience another round of it, this so-called second puberty. It isn't as widely talked about as the teenage years, but it is just as impactful. Think weight gain, acne, changes in hair, even menstrual shifts. All of that fun stuff from your teenage years, only with more confusion. This time, however, you're supposed to handle it with grace, and no one's given you a manual. This next one has been the bane of my existence for a while now, and I'm excited to set the record straight. Number 12. When it comes to fertilization, it's the egg that calls the shots, not the sperm. That's right, the egg chooses which sperm gets to join the party. It's not about the fastest swimmer, it's about whatever sperm the egg decides to invite in. And since we're on the topic of eggs, number 11. Women are born with a ridiculous amount of eggs, 6 to 7 million to be exact, while they're just little fetuses hanging out in their mom's womb. But don't get too attached to that egg stockpile, it takes a nosedive pretty fast. By the time they're born, they got about 1 to 2 million eggs, and by puberty that number's already down to around 300,000. Still sounds like a lot, right? Wrong. By age 37, there are only around 25,000 left, and when menopause rolls around at age 51, there's only about 1,000. But those aren't fertile. Number 10. A woman's body can grow an entirely new organ. And no, it's not a third arm or an extra lung, it's the placenta. Not only does it provide the baby with oxygen and necessary nutrients to grow, but it's also an immune and endocrine organ, doing everything from hormone regulation to keeping the mom and baby on the same page. This little miracle starts forming in the first 3 months of pregnancy and then grows right alongside the fetus. Number 9. The female vagina is basically like fine wine. No, really, the normal pH of the vagina is less than 4.5, which just so happens to be super similar to the pH of wine. So next time you're sipping on a glass of wine, ladies, just remember, your body's working hard to keep things nicely balanced and acidic down there too. It's all about keeping things in perfect harmony, whether it's in the bottle or elsewhere. And this brings us to another super weird and super cool fact. Number 8. The vagina is like a self-cleaning oven. It has its own squad of bacteria and fungi working around the clock to keep things in check. These tiny little workers form a delicate ecosystem known as the microbiome or vaginal flora. And when everything is balanced, especially with plenty of lactobacilli, the good bacteria, the vagina stays infection-free and happy. But if things go off balance, like when bad bacteria throw a rager or fungi go rogue, well, that's when infections make their entrance. So as long as the microbiome's in charge, women's vaginas have it covered. Number 7. The female uterus weighs in at about 2.5 ounces, roughly the size of a fist. But by the end of pregnancy, it expands to a whopping 3.3 pounds of muscle, working overtime to support a growing baby. After birth, it shrinks right back down to its original size at 2.5 ounces. Talk about a body doing some serious post-workout recovery. Number 6. The tip of the female clitoris has over 10,000 nerve fibers, according to a published study. Meanwhile, the tip of a man's penis has only around 4,000. So yeah, the clitoris is out here dominating the sensitivity game, taking things to a whole new level. Number 5. The clitoris can increase in size by up to 300% during sexual arousal. Just like the penis, it can become erect when stimulated, thanks to the increased blood flow. And as the clitoris gets more excited, the clitoral hood, which normally protects those thousands of nerve endings, retracts to make sure everything gets some attention. And just to keep things interesting, clitoral hoods vary in size and don't all retract the same amount, so it's a little different for everyone. Number 4. The clitoris is bigger than you realize. It can be up to 20 times longer on the inside. And as if that wasn't enough, it's shaped like a wishbone. The visible part of the clitoris is only the external glands, but the full structure includes 2 legs that extend inside the body, wrapping around the vaginal canal. These internal parts, known as the crura, anchor to the pubic bone and have a similar structure to the erectile tissue in the penis. As blood flow increases, this entire wishbone structure becomes engorged, making the entire clitoris more sensitive and erect. Number 3. The cervix constantly changes its position and texture. During menstruation, it's low and open, basically doing its best impression of a drain to let the blood flow freely. But as the month goes on, it starts to climb higher up the vaginal canal. In the luteal phase, just before a period, the cervix is sitting high and tight in anticipation for a possible pregnancy. And speaking of that cervix getting ready for VIP events, that brings us to number 2. During pregnancy, the cervix really pulls out all the stops. When pregnancy comes into the picture, the cervix goes into full-on bodyguard mode with the ultimate security measure, the mucus plug. This isn't just any mucus, it thickens up into a gooey barrier, sealing the cervix to protect the growing baby. This mucus plug is loaded with antimicrobial properties, keeping out infections and preventing anything harmful from getting too close. Number 1. When a woman ovulates, it's not the egg that moves toward the fallopian tube, it's actually the other way around. The egg gives off a signal and the fallopian tube finds it. What's even more surprising is how flexible the fallopian tubes are. If a woman has one of her tubes removed, her chances of getting pregnant don't drop in half. The remaining fallopian tube can move to the other ovary to collect the egg. It's kind of like a backup plan built right into the body. So even if just one side is working, the body can still make things happen. Now go check out 20 things your body does that you don't know why, or click on this video instead.